many years ago now. My mother was in her last week of life following a long battle with cancer. She was under hospice care at the time. And many of our family had gathered to celebrate Christmas at her bedside. And then some of us were able to stay longer for the days after Christmas to provide support for my dad. We were in the living room, just a short distance from her bed, and we had fallen into a time of silence. After a short while, my dad got up and left the room, and he soon returned carrying a container of hand lotion. He stood beside my mother's bed and squeezed some of the lotion into his hands and warmed it, and then ever so gently, he rubbed it on my mother's hands and her wrist. This was a gesture of tenderness offered between a husband and wife, a silent expression of deep and abiding love. Now, the hand lotion that my dad used that late December day had very little earthly value. The lotion was not expensive or extravagant. However, the gesture itself certainly was. It was born of deep love, and it was a courageous acknowledgement of impending death and separation. This morning, our gospel reading takes us to a home in Bethany, just on the outskirts of Jerusalem. It is the week before Jesus will enter Jerusalem for the last time. His death is also impending. The home is that of his dear friends, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. He loves them, and all, they love him too. Jesus knows what lies ahead in Jerusalem, yet he knows also that it is a journey that he must take in order to fulfill God's plan of salvation for the world. He is intent upon accomplishing everything necessary for the forgiveness and for our salvation. He will fulfill the prophecies of Scripture. In Jerusalem, the religious leaders, the Pharisees and Sadducees, are already plotting with the Romans to put Jesus to death. His days are numbered, and Jesus knows it. When he arrives at the home of his friends in Bethany, they can see it on his face. As dinner is prepared, there is likely much tension and distressful conversation going on in the room. His disciples try to dissuade Jesus from going to Jerusalem. Surely there must be another way, his friends and disciples would have argued. Those gathered around the dinner table are filled with fear and deep concern about what lies ahead for Jesus in Jerusalem. They realize that they are about to lose their dear friend as they know him. The time is short, and their pain is great. But in spite of all the efforts of the disciples, Jesus has made it all too clear that he will go to Jerusalem, and that there he will be